Welcome to Shiny Skin Portrait Retouch in Photoshop. I'm Lee Veris, your host for this step-by-step tutorial. We're going to examine a common problem in portraiture where the subject has somewhat oily skin and we want to tone down shiny highlights. This tutorial will examine the spot healing tool, a hue saturation color adjustment for uneven skin tone, but the primary technique we'll explore is frequency separation. We'll do some recoloring and some dodging and burning to even out skin texture and resculpt the face. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop, and I have this portrait here by Douglas P. Zach, who's very graciously allowed me to use it in this demonstration. And we have, God, we just have this great shot of this great face, and Douglas wanted to knock back the shine on, the oily skin. And how do you do that? So I'm going to go through a complete retouch on this, and usually my first strategy is to just go in and do some spotting. So for that, we have to kind of zoom into 100% here. And I mean, this guy has such a great face. I'm not going to bother to take out all the character in the face, but there are a few little things, like this little kind of blemish on the nose that I think I can just spot out with the spot healing tool. So I'll make my empty layer for spotting. And let's see, let's get the spot healing tool right here. Here's the spot healing brush. Okay. And really the strategy here is just to cover up the area that you want to remove using content aware up here, and see what that looks like first. Okay, so not bad. Sometimes you have to kind of, do it a couple times to get a good texture to replace what was there before. And we might go around and just, little things that we think we can take care of. I'm not going to deal with these veins right now because I have a couple other techniques for that. But we might, take out some of the extra, hairs here, or anything that little hair wisps and things that we might want to remove. We can always take those out. In this kind of a portrait, it's really not necessary to get too crazy about this sort of thing. But I just want to give it a kind of quick once over. And then you also have to kind of zoom out when you're doing this and see if there's anything that presents itself from the zoomed out view. You can sometimes get lost, in the forest for the trees sort of thing. Here's a little thing that caught my eye before, so just kind of knock that back. And this little kind of spot here, I can probably mitigate that. Let's see, now that's kind of a big area, so sometimes the spot healing tool isn't as good for that sort of thing, but let's find out. Okay, not too bad. I think I'll accept that. And that's all the spotting I'm going to do. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to take care of, because it affects how I judge the texture and the color and everything. He's a little red here. I mean, he probably has sort of a red complexion, but for a normal good skin tone, I'm looking over at the CMYK numbers up there in the upper right corner in the info panel. And normally we'd want to see yellow be a bit higher than magenta in a skin tone, and here we have the opposite. And there's probably, a few areas in the face where that color is better. So here the yellow is almost equal to magenta, but overall it's still way too red. So now he's got fairly good neutrality in the gray hair here. It's a little on the warm side, but that's sort of to be expected. And it doesn't look like there's like a serious color cast. He's wearing a black shirt and it's almost neutral there, 59, 59, 61. So I don't think there's a overall color issue. It's just that, we'd like to make his skin look a little less red. So that suggests that we use hue saturation. So I'm going to use a hue saturation here, and we'll target reds. And once I get into a specific color range to target, once I get off of master, I see these little eyedroppers. So I'm going to select the leftmost eyedropper and try to find the reddest color uh, here. We're almost 20 units higher in the magenta than the yellow. So this is a pretty red color right here on the tip of his nose. So we'll just click on that. And you see the little color range selector down here just shifted over just a little bit. Now that's the reddest color. I'm going to try and subtract the least red color, which I think is kind of in here, or maybe over here. Here's one that's there where the yellow is equal to the magenta. You can see in the numbers up there in the upper right. So I'm going to subtract that from the range, and you notice how this little dark area trimmed in got smaller. So this is the fully targeted color where we're going to shift it 100%, and then it ramps off into the surrounding colors. So just to visualize what I'm going to shift, I'm going to move this all the way over, do kind of a ridiculous hue shift. And the cyan colors are the ones that are fully targeted. And it's starting to ramp off. I can isolate it even more by trimming this little gray area in, taking the little handle and kind of trimming it in just a little bit. Okay. And now we really need to shift most of the skin anyway, so I'm not going to really try to isolate this any further. We're going to bring this back to 0 and then start scooching it over to the right while I'm measuring and looking at the